We're going to start with the new PA, and we're going to highlight all the things that have been changed and kind of why they were changed, what my logic was. All right, you guys need to be, you guys want masks on or no? Since none of you have masks on, put it down. I don't want any of you guys getting.
Got my second shot.
You 2 weeks
Hey.
behind me.
Hey, Pete, this is Andrea.
I don't care if you guys don't want to. Just yes.
Where do we get a copy of the new PA?
Jess has it on the screen now.
You got an email yesterday.
You got an email with it yesterday or the day before from Jess with the PA in there.
It's titled Update to PA, and then the button that says click here to view the PA.
Did you guys hear that? Go into the email, then it says update the view. Click here. Pretty simple. So
Okay, Jess, I'm sorry. I may have missed it and deleted it by accident. Can I please have another copy of the email?
Just go on command and you get one.
Turn it just to on.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Anybody else?
all right.
Going once?
Starting at the top of the purchase agreement, the first thing you're going to notice is a bunch of boxes with information. I personally like this for me because when I'm doing my paperwork, I've got everything in there that I need. We need it from an office point of view in case something's missing. It's easier to go in here and just refer to the data that we need. This was more of a housekeeping issue, and I think it makes it a lot easier. Once you've got the information, it's all in one place for you now. You don't have to go hunting through RealComp to look for an agent's ID number. All right. If you guys have questions as we go, ask them. In the first paragraph, if Jess scrolls down a little bit. Can you scroll down? What are you doing here? You're killing me with all these different things going on. Couple things too with the PA, I mean, why changes were made. Over time, things change and gets things change and we need to add things. I think the last revision was in 19, so maybe 2 years ago. Since 19, some of the things that have become more and more relevant and prevalent are security surveillance cameras, electronic video doorbells, Wi-Fi thermostats. The children's playscape's always been something, but we threw that in there too. But realize, you guys, these are things that, especially when they're just coming on the market, buyers and sellers don't necessarily agree on what's staying with the house and what's coming with the clients. So this is to clear things up and make it cleaner for you. Down below where it says any attached items not specifically herein shall be considered included in the sale. Seller's title company shall provide a bill of sale for all personal property included at closing, which very honestly, the seller's title company's always provided a bill of sale. We're just making sure that it's, everybody realizes that. So if there's something you want to include, make sure you're including it. If there's something the seller wants to exclude, it should be excluded right there. All right. The sales price of the property that stayed the same. And I believe this isn't added on. I'm pretty sure I did this. Regardless of the payment method, the premises must appraise at the sales price or higher. We had verbiage in there, but it didn't address regardless of the payment method. So in other words, if somebody wants a cash sale, they have that opportunity for an appraisal. Okay. Now, in today's market, I would probably be crossing out the appraisal part because in most cases, people are doing either appraisal guarantees or appraisal waivers. What you want to do is if you're canceling them out, I mean, if you don't want them to be both on there, you need to cancel one. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, nobody's making sense here. Okay, great. All right, there was nothing else on that page that we did, that I changed. Does anybody have any questions on that front page?
No.
All right. Number 7,
Hey, Pete,
yes.
sorry, Jordan here. I had filled this out last night and sent it to a couple of buyers. And there were some formatting issues in that. Who do I
There were
take that
what?
up with?
There were formatting issues?
They were trying to use their phone and things just didn't line up right. And
Nothing lines up on the phone when you try to do a PA. Same with the seller's disclosure. It's very hard on a phone for the boxes to appear in the right areas.
So, yeah, I don't know if that's, has anybody had that problem before? Sending PAs? And then opening them up on phones, or are they?
I don't know. I sent them to their email. Sign only.
Yeah, but again, they could open it up on the phone.
They could. I've never did.
Yeah, Jordan, I don't know on that one.
I'll double check. when we're done.
We'll see. I don't, when I've sent PAs over, I'm pretty sure people have probably tried to open them on their phone. Did you have this problem before?
it
Or you don't
didn't come
know?
up with the other format, but some fields like came, the signature block and whatever initials were in a non-relevant area,
Huh.
So
I don't know, to view it or to sign it.
Was that, what was that?
Like
Megan?
to view it, like I just pulled it up on my phone. It will open full docs for me. It's fine to view.
I,
Talking about
are you
docs.
talking, you're trying to, oh, you were sending it through DocuSign for them to sign it?
yes,
Okay.
I do know that. And that's because it's on the phone.
Yeah, I'll open it up on mine after class and see what happens. I don't know. But I mean, if we can look into it, it's fine. I guess the other thing is tell them to go to a laptop or a desktop and open it up for now to see what's
Yeah.
going on.
we eventually made it through and everything looked fine on my end afterwards.
Yeah, that's the most important part. No, the most important part is, did you get the offer through?
It was submitted last
Hey,
night.
Pete. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Before we go too far, at the top, could we have our office ID number pre-filled like the Keller Williams Advantage is?
And I'd love to tell you I can, but at this point in time, it would cost us money to put that in, honestly, and that sounds stupid. But if you guys, do you know what our office ID number is? 29408.
Yes, um,
It's the same for Northville and us.
The business center's got a different one, and off the top of my head, I can never remember that. 335 something like that. But 294086 is our thing. And if we have to make a revision, Taylor, I will have Carolyn put that in. I just don't want to do it right now if it's going to cost us money. 294086. 294086 is our office ID.
Before you go further, back on your appraisal, if we were doing a.
Okay, that part where I asked everybody questions,
I
if
know,
you had any
but-
questions,
It took a minute.
go
If
ahead.
we're doing an appraisal guarantee, you're saying that we have to cross it out, because the appraisal guarantee doesn't override that. It just-
I'm sorry, what? Doug's question is,
If we did an appraisal guarantee,
Mhm.
do I have to cross out that section where? it
Well,
says
let me
we have
ask
to
you.
retire? Or, because the appraisal guarantee is written at the bottom and it overrides anything above.
why would you want to keep both of them on there?
But I don't have to keep both of them on there, it's just.
I'm all for keeping things clean. And if you have anything like that where you have one thing here and one over here, it's left for an interpretation.
Okay.
So the best thing to do is take the one out you're not using. All right. The home warranty, you guys, didn't really change. We cleaned it up, hopefully so it makes more sense. And basically, the buyer acknowledges notice the availability and cost of home warranty plan. Buyers would like a home protection plan. Yes or no? Plan to be purchased through America's Preferred Home Warranty. No, buyers and sellers waive a home warranty plan and agree to hold real estate agents and brokers harmless. And it goes on to say home warranty will be paid by seller or buyer or other. KW, now this part, did we have this part in there? KW Advantage to prepare home warranty documents if not offered by a listing broker on MLS. I think we did. Plan not to exceed. We want that in there, so You guys want to get credit for the PA or for the home warranty, right? You guys would like to make your money? Okay, so that's why that's in there. And then the second part, see attached, buyer's signed home warranty acceptance or waiver. It's the identical form, whether it's the acceptance or the waiver, it's just what box are checked and initialed. But that needs to be with every PA you do. All right. And then it goes on to say acknowledgement of the above, buyers and sellers acknowledge it. So we just kind of moved things around because I always got confused on what you were acknowledging. Now you're acknowledging basically the whole paragraph. All right.
So Pete,
Yes.
what if the seller is already offering a home warranty?
And then you're going to check.
Seller.
Home warranty will be paid for
By seller. And then I would just leave it on there. And if it's not America's Preferred, here's the thing, you guys. I would always try to get America's Preferred home warranty. Even if the seller is offering somebody else's, America's Preferred is a better home warranty. It allows your clients to pick the contractors they want. Now, if they've already put one on in place, that's something different. But I would let the other side tell you that, Jordan. And then you
Okay.
could change that. Okay, but I would always leave it that way, deferred to America's Preferred.
Well, if it wasn't, then
Question,
you'll say,
Pete.
yeah, let's cross out the America's Preferred.
Correct. Yes. Who was it, Taylor?
No, it's Hope. Good morning.
Hello.
Quick question. Out on DocuSign, there are two, I used this last night too, but I noticed there are two versions. One is admin version and one is
Yeah.
green.
Stop. I'll come to that.
Okay.
That's on my list. Thank you.
Hey, Pete,
That was quick that you observed that, though. I like that, Hope. Good job. Yes, Taylor.
no, it's Angela.
Oh, Jesus, I'm losing my mind here.
Is the plan amount still not to exceed 500 on the new PA?
You can, I'm not sure what the home warranty,
425 is the cheapest
Just-
one you can do for a buyer.
425 is the $100 deductible. And what's the next one? 460?
460 is for the $50.
60.
520 something, I think it's for the seller and buyer.
Yeah. So again, I would look at the home warranty, the actual form, it you can tell you what you're looking for. I mean, the $100 deductible is obviously a little cheaper. So that's the one at 4 1/4. So Angela, so I mean, you could put in there not to exceed 500 and you'd be safe on 2 of them. For sure.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Agency. Anybody know what? Oh, damn it, I got it in there. Does anybody know what was changed on there? By signatures below, buyers and sellers hereby acknowledge the selling broker and seller's associate are acting in the capacity of the seller's agent, buying agent, dual agent, transaction coordinator. What are you guys checking in most cases?
Buyer's agent.
That would be correct, buyer's agent. The last line, Keller Williams Advantage is a designated agency broker. We put that in there just so everybody knows what we are. We are a designated agency brokerage, okay? And you guys, you know I like to steal when I look at other people's PAs. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I try to find the best stuff that's relevant to us and I put that in. That was one of them. This next paragraph on the inspection, we kind of changed it to inspection/due diligence because it's not just about an inspection. And it goes on to say, note, inspections required by FHA, VA lenders, or VA lenders or municipalities are not made, nor should they be relied upon by sellers, or I'm sorry, relied upon by brokers or buyers. I'll get it right. Brokers recommend that buyers conduct independent private inspections of property at buyer's expense. Due diligence may include, but is not limited to, any inspections or research deemed necessary by buyer, including structural integrity, condition of the mechanical system, environmental status, health or safety conditions, surveys or infestation. To ensure intended use of premises, recommended that buyers research building and use restrictions, easements and ordinances, regulations, school districts, property tax status, and any square footage verification. This must be completed during the inspection period. This, you guys, will help solve problems where, and it doesn't happen often, but square footage, for example. They'll get, 3 or 4 weeks into it, and all of a sudden, there may be a discrepancy with the square footage that was listed on the MLS. And people say, well, I don't want to, I'm not paying that much for this house, it's smaller. Well, you know what? At this point in time, your square footage needs to be done during the inspection time frame. All right? And then the rest of it is pretty much all the same. So there's no changes there as far as the inspection. Well and septic, we clean this one up a little bit. Well and septic inspection, does the property have a well? Yes or no? Septic system, yes or no? See attached addendum made part thereof if applicable. So if you're checking yes, then guess what you need to do? You need to have that addendum. And then when you go into the addendum, has anybody looked at the well and septic addendum that's in there now from GMAR?
No.
Yeah, let's pull that bad boy up if you can. You guys, this addendum will help keep you out of trouble and keep you out of lawsuits. And I'm all about keeping us out of lawsuits. Okay, so very important. And when it comes up, I'm going to show you what I like about it.
Which one?
Uh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, is anybody in here or online a NACPOR member? You are?
I am Steve. I am Pete.
Who was
I
that?
am what? I didn't hear you.
Who's NACPOR members instead of GMAR?
I am Emily.
Me, safe.
Nicole Salmons.
All right, you troublemakers. I'm going to be talking to you guys. I'm going to be talking to you guys later about a couple things. Unfortunately, like this GMAR form that we're pulling up, you can't get through NACPOR. Oh, nice. All right. Well, hopefully I'm going to keep going and we'll have time at the end of class to pull that up. But I really want to go over that form with you. Okay. If you drop down to 15, this one we added a bunch of stuff in there that could make your life problematic. However, it will protect your clients. Has anybody had to do a sewer scope on any of their buyers' purchase agreements? Dan, have you had to do a sewer scope?
No.
You mean
If
from
you're-
the mortgage company
Yes.
or from the buyer?
From the buyer's point of view, to make sure that the roots and sewers all, roots aren't in the sewers.
I
Yeah,
have
I do
Steve.
almost every house.
You were ahead of the game.
Well, no, I bought a house downtown Plymouth where the septic tank was never removed. You went from the house to the septic tank out to the city sewer.
Huh.
So we didn't crush and destroy it. So I kept going rooted the thing out, and eventually the guy said something's not right.
That's what it was. I've never heard that. One of the things in older neighborhoods, and I've got a house in Livonia where it's literally an issue. Every year we're snaking out, at least now it's probably at least every year, might not be that long. We have to snake out our drains because the roots have gone into the sewer line and clogged it up. Okay, so they can do, and one of the things, if you're on a lot that has a lot of trees, I'd be recommending having a sewer scope done. They can go in with the camera and they usually leave you with the flash drive of the video to, in case somebody has an issue of it. They can tell you how far out the damage is, and it's better to have that done before closing than after closing. It potentially is a $10,000 problem if you need to have this done. Wouldn't you want your clients to know up front, as opposed to a month after they get into a house and say, my basement's backing up? So,
Yes.
okay, so termite pest, sewer line, radon, asbestos, mold, environmental inspection. Broker recommends that the buyer obtain independent inspection to determine the presence of wood destroying insects or infestation, plus a recorded video sewer line scope, radon test, water testing, asbestos test or mold, air sample test, and any other environmental concerns. Does that mean you have to have all these tests done on a property? Nope. It's just saying you have the opportunity for these. Okay. And they're becoming more and more prevalent, you guys, if you're dealing in homes in older neighborhoods. Now, if you're selling out Novi or Northville, it's probably not a big deal. But if you're going into some of the areas in Livonia, I guarantee it's an issue. So,
Hey, Pete, so
yes.
why isn't there a how many days or a term on this termite line?
Excellent question.
In a home inspection, you have how many days? Usually 7 to 10.
Because all of these things fall into the home inspection, Steve.
But it's a separate number.
Let me just show you something here.
So say after the inspection period, prior to the closing, the buyer says, you know, I want to have this sewer scope come in. Well, it doesn't say anything about time.
Hold on.
I mean, they won't get their money back because it passed the inspection period.
Well, would you say that's a private inspection?
Yes, I would probably say that. Yes.
All of this falls into the private.
Inspectors are actually doing these cameras, so.
All of these things fall into what would be the private inspection up top. So the whole issue is all of these tests need to be done, because it even goes on to say, if buyer's not satisfied for any reason with results of a report, test, survey, or other inspections conducted. That's up top, okay? Is all we're doing is going back to, these are all things that need to be done. Now, could we have thrown 15 in with 12? Probably, but it ties in.
I think what you should have done is tied 15 with 12 and make 12A.
Okay, but we didn't at this point. Could be done down the road. Not going to say it's not going to be or not. However, the buyer doesn't get to say 2 days before closing, because if you brought that to me and said, 2 days before closing, I'd say, no, your inspection time's gone. You had 15 days, or not 15 days. You had whatever time frame that is to have it done. It refers to it numerous times in 12 about inspections. So could we put it in there in the future? Yeah, not to say we won't. However, the point is you guys need to offer them out to your client to say, do you want an inspection? Now, one thing I would tell you guys, these all fall into the inspection time frame. Let me go back to number 12. I normally use 7, 2, 2, and 2 in my blanks, okay? On my blanks, that means you have 7 days to have your private inspection. What happens if you have your private inspection on the second day? No, that's not what I'm going with, but.
Then you still have 5 more days to get things done.
Do you have 5 more days to have it done? Or does the second thing kick in, saying you have 2 days to respond?
I would rather this be worded a little different. It says you have 8 days or you have 7 days.
Unfortunately, half the brokers out there do it this way. We've done this from day one as far as having the time frame. Just remember, once you tell the people you've had your inspection, the next step starts. Now, if I have my private inspection on day 2 and my radon's not going to be done till day 5, you're fine. Just don't respond to the client or to the agent saying after day 2, my private inspection, everything's good. Because guess what? If you tell them everything's good, you're kind of screwed. However, your inspection time is from the time the last one is done. Okay? Not from the first one, it's from the last one. It's not from, and everybody thinks, well, it's from when the private inspection, when I say private inspection, we'll call it the home inspection, okay, the mechanicals. That doesn't automatically say you're done with all your inspections, and that's what you guys really need to worry about. The second
Pete,
part
I
of
have
that
another
is,
question.
hold on, the second part of that is, who's using, I know, I can't think of, trademark home inspections, Craig and home team, they'll try to set the rate on canisters before they do the home inspection. And if you guys aren't, if you're not using the right inspectors, you need to switch. There's no reason that somebody puts the canisters in the day of the home inspection, only to wait 2 more days to get the results. Put the canisters in before the home inspection, and guess what? When your home inspection's done, you know if your radon's done. All right? So these are little tricks of the trade that makes your job go a hell of a lot easier. The reason it's written this way, you guys, 7, 2, 2, and 2, after my inspection's done, I have 2 days to go back to them and say, okay, we have an issue. Give them the issue. They have 2 days to come back to you and say, okay, we'll take care of this. If they say no, then you have 2 days to, your clients have 2 days to decide, do they want to move forward with the house? All right. It makes more sense doing it that way as opposed to, I've got 10 days to get everything done. And there's PAs out there that say, okay, you have 10 days to notify the seller. What happens if you notify the seller on the 10th day that you want something done? And the seller can sit here and say, okay, I'm not going to fix it. Do you have can you still buy the house? Who gets to kill this deal? Who's the only person that gets to kill the deal with this PA?
The buyer.
The buyer does. The seller can say all they want, but I'm not going to do it. And that's fine. But the buyer then has the opportunity to say, you know what? I'm going to move forward with the transaction. That's why it's written the way it is, you guys.
That's a sewer question.
Yes.
So for those of us that are newer.
Yes. Can you guys hear her?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you-
for those of us. that
No.
Oh, no.
Should we just
No.
house in this area? Should we, how, I mean, like, how do we know about, the history of like Livonia or whatever for sewer?
Well, the question is, what do you do if you don't know that it needs a sewer inspection?
Wouldn't it be on
If it's,
No, what it is, you're just saying if there's sewer. Yeah, you're gonna know if there's sewer, but how do you know which house needs a sewer inspection or not? Or what you'd be concerned about? Older homes with lots of trees and yards would be a really good indication that you may need to have this checked. Because, yeah, what happens with the sewer, you guys, most of the sewer drain lines from the house to the city sewer were, some of them were cardboard if you go that far back. Some of them were clay. Now, in most cases, they probably use PVC. But what happens is the roots get in there and just clog them. And even if you clean, there's still, the tile is called tile, the tile gets damaged. So even if you clean it, the roots are going to continue to grow back in there if it's cracked or damaged. So if you're looking at an older home with trees in the yard, that might be something that you might want to look at.
And their scope goes all the way out to the
The
city.
city.
of that?
Yep.
and I would say even one further, with my mom's house in Garden City. We were always doing it from the drain line to the sewer, but she actually ended up having problems underneath the basement from one drain to the next. And that never got scoped until this past year, so now they're scoping that one, but she had roots growing into that, even though there's no trees. It's just because it's all clay. Just deteriorates every time.
All right, any questions there? All right, next one is 17C, correct? I believe we had this on, okay? And we just changed where it was. Some of my highlights here are from a different presentation. Yes, sir.
I was just gonna say, wait for you to read it, because I was gonna.
Please take notice that the pursuant to the terms of the buyer's agency agreement with broker, buyers agreed to pay selling broker a brokerage commission in the amount of $395 in addition to the percentage amounts provided in the buyer's agency agreement and or MLS offering of compensation. Is all the way this is worded, guys, this is different. You know, someone would say, well, we don't want commission on there. Is all this is saying is we want to make sure that the title company is picking this up. Now, if I could trust every agent to make sure the title company got their information elsewhere, I wouldn't put this on. It's just a notification. The
Do you
title
typically
company.
send your buyer agency agreement to the title company?
What's that? You go, you don't.
I never have.
Well, that's the reason this is on.
I mean, I always have the $395 on the PA, but regarding the commission percentage, I guess they've always just asked me. I haven't
Right,
sent
and that's
it out.
fine, and that's fine. I mean, if you're sending them an MLS ticket to this, you know,
Mhm.
they're gonna see the commission too. But a lot of title companies will have you fill something out to say, what's your commission? Okay, or they'll call and say, what's your commission? So this is just a reminder for them to make sure they pick this up. All right. Maintenance of property, number 19, final walkthrough. We kind of combine this for a couple different reasons. Seller is responsible for keeping property in substantially the same condition as the date of this agreement. Seller is responsible to maintain grounds and keep all systems in working order until property is vacated and keys are surrendered by seller, except for conditions disclosed in seller's disclosure statement or conditions discovered by buyer as part of their inspections. If property has been winterized, it shall be the obligation expense of sellers to de-winterize the property prior to closing. Seller agrees to leave buildings and property broom clean. John Gitchery, that's for you. Property broom clean and free of all personal property, refuse, debris, building materials, and any paint cans. Okay, and somebody emailed me something today wanting to know, well, why did we put the paint cans on there? Because most people want the paint in there, you know, to touch up. Well, I believe it's easier to ask for them to leave paint cans with the paint in them than to have somebody take out the 25 cans of paint that you'll never be able to use because they're rock solid. Yeah.
And you can't throw them.
Yeah. So I'd rather ask for them to leave it than as opposed to ask for them to take it. Buyers shall have the right to walk through inspection of the premises being purchased within 48 hours prior to closing to determine whether the terms of the agreement have been met. If seller is occupying the property after closing, another walkthrough will be conducted at the house at the time of key exchange. That's an add-on there. Is all we're doing is we're giving our clients, if there's occupancy, we're letting the buyers know or the sellers know there's going to be 2 walkthroughs. All right. Any questions on that part?
Just want to say I had never heard the term broom clean.
No? That used to be on all the PAs and somehow it just kind of got lost in there. But John wanted that on there, so by God, I did it.
And winterize is basically if the water is turned on, right?
Well,
Or is there-
it's more to winterizing a house and turning off the water.
What is there?
They're usually,
Antifreeze.
they'll drain the toilets and put antifreeze in them.
Okay.
Those are probably the 2 biggest things.
What do they do with the water tank?
The hot water tank,
Yeah.
they probably should empty those too. So you don't want water sitting in the house, or you'll make Pete's mistake. Not good. All right, let's go to 31. Earnest money within blank business days from the date the seller, earnest money deposit within blank business days from the date of the seller agreement. The seller signs this agreement. Tough time reading today. Buyers will deliver to KW Advantage or to, could be the title company, could be whomever, an earnest money deposit in the amount of blank, which will be in the form of personal check, money order, cashier's check, certified funds, or electronic deposits. Okay, you guys, we're getting closer to that. I don't know where Carolyn's at on that. I know she wants it up and going. We, and some of you guys know this, there is a company out there now. Doug, are you using it?
Well, I'm using, yeah.
Ernest, is it Ernest or Ernest Lee?
Ernest.
Ernest is the one that's out there now. Ernest Lee, I think, is what we're going to.
Correct.
Okay. Ernest charged your clients $15 or whatever it was to do it. Ernest Lee, we got a pretty good deal with them. We will pay for your clients to wire the funds. Now, you guys, it's a little thing. However, if you want to, sweeten up, well, you're right. When you present it to your clients, hey, we're making this easy. If you're no other company, and there is no other company that's paying for it for right now, we're willing to do that for you to make it easier for you. And it's easier. It's going to make it cleaner for Carolyn and Katie, and it might make it easier for me down the road with earnest money deposits.
And I would suggest you notify your clients that we are paying for it.
Yeah, and that's my point. You want to make sure they realize nobody else is doing this for you. We're taking care of the cost on this. And there is a cost. It's not free. Buyer will deliver to KW Advantage or to an additional sum after satisfactory buyer inspection, making the total earnest money deposit blank. Notice there's a second part in there now. Everybody used to do after the inspection. Then I taught everybody not to do after the inspection, to do it right up front. This gives you options. You can put your earnest money in right up front. You can wait till after the inspection, or you can do a combination of both. In today's market, I'm assuming agents on the other side want to see some earnest money up front. Is that normal? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if somebody says, I want to put 2,500 in before, when I'm writing the offer and I'll put the rest in after the inspection, great. But there's an option there, you guys.
Pete, just out of curiosity, besides needing to acknowledge that if it's a personal check, it will be cashed right away,
Mhm.
why does it matter? I got your what form of payment are you using for their EMD?
Yeah, we're
When they
giving
go to
them
the-
options. We want them to make sure that, what do we eventually want to go to? All electronic is what we really want to go to. However, you might get people like my age that may not want to do that. And then you'll have other people that, young kids like Chris's age who doesn't know what a checkbook is.
Scan the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids get money back.
Yeah, exactly.
I just heard, like, I had a buyer, we did personal check, but then when I told him, no, it cannot be from your dad's, it has to be from yours. Well, he didn't have checks, he was younger, so then we switched and he did.
Yeah, well, and
cashier's
that's,
check,
well,
but
you
I
know
had
what?
to, like, go back and
Normally,
change.
I could care less if it was from the father. The issue becomes, if it's from the father, why is there an issue there?
Then it's against the money,
It's-
technically, right?
It's the mortgage company wants to see where those funds came from. And if it looks like it's coming from the father, that's not helping the person buying the house. All right, this last part the next part was changed. The parties understand that with respect to earnest money, KW Advantage, only duties are stated as blank and the regulations of applicable to the statute. And the reason we put that in is we have had issues where you guys don't collect the check accidentally. This kind of protects us from that, or the check bounces. We can't be held responsible if somebody's check bounces, okay? Our only goal is to say, we're collecting a check. That makes sense? We can't verify that the funds are good. Wish we didn't have that problem, but we do. All right, those are the only changes on the PA as of now. Some of the ones that you guys brought up, I will look at the next revision to see what we can do. Jeff, did you find that? All right, I want to show you real quick the addendum here. Shrink it a little bit for me, please. Here you go. That should be good. All right, well and septic addendum. See where it says yes? The subject property is located in Macomb County. No, that's not the right one. That's not the right one.
Here,
I'm
you
sorry.
want that one. You just want the paper version.
Show me.
The old Pete's one?
No, that's not it.
Oh, jeez.
No, that's not it.
That's not the Gmar.
No, that's the Gmar one.
So what one should we be using?
That's what I'm trying to show you.
What is it?
It's in there.
It's from, I know, but I can't open it because I don't
All
have
right.
it. Is it Gmar?
Yeah.
Here, Hunter.
Can't you go into mine?
No, I can't log into my.
No, can you go into mine? Go into DocuSign under mine. It's a Gmar form and it gives you options. Do you guys know what's,
You're gonna get an email.
So secure.
is it an email or text?
It should be an email to your KW email.
Hi guys, I'm sorry about this. It talks about if it's a required county that has required, or in a county that requires a septic inspection. Just got 827-738. 738. Do you realize there's different terms or different rules for different counties for septic inspections?
Yes.
And Wayne County, I believe it's Macomb, and I think it's Washington. We will know in a second. Just actually, if you go into, so where the hell are you, Jess? I don't know where you go into.
Pete, that form is in dot loop, I think.
Well,
We don't use that, Luke. Don't swear.
hold on a second.
It's in there.
I believe you. I believe you. You guys, there's a couple things that, I mean, housekeeping, very honestly, I really want to get everybody off dot loop. Because that new PA will not be in dot loop. You guys know that, right?
I don't use it. I just know it's in there.
Yeah, no, which is good.
Pete, I didn't know we could still use that loop.
You can't.
Oh, okay.
There's some interlopers out there that I need to bring in the 21st century. That one right there. Hopefully it's this one right here. And we're going to work with you guys that are on dot loop to get off dot loop. Mighty, this is killing me.
It's a Chromebook. I can't do anything when the Zoomies are on. Loading. Hold on.
I could chisel this on a tablet quicker than this.
Pete, why do you people always like, please hold, I'm not ready yet. This is what happened.
Just, we only have access of the GMAR documents and DocuSign if we're a GMAR member.
Correct. That is correct. And that's one of the reasons that I don't want you guys in. Not one.
Hey, Pete, you can access even, so I have not board, but you can access GMAR's docs from RealComp, except for this one's not on, the old one's not on there, the one that you're looking for.
But then you're importing it and you're putting it into DocuSign?
Yeah, so what I would do if I can't access it in DocuSign, all I would do is download it from either RealComp or from .loop and then upload it into DocuSign. That's my workaround.
Now you're doing a lot more work to get to the same point.
Right, I'm saying if I can't, but that's my workaround if I didn't have it, if it wasn't in there.
More than that, dog, when you're doing
What are you doing?
I'm trying. It's frozen. I'm not even.
We are in NACBOR, then can we, when our annual whatever's up, you just switch to GMAR?
It's funny you bring that up, Sarah. I've been talking with the president of GMAR because I want everybody to transfer, and I'm working out a deal with her to get everybody switched over from NACPOR to GMAR with no cost or little cost, you guys. I would like you guys to do it now.
Because I just paid my dues like last week, I think.
Well, we'll get that taken care of. All right, can you shrink it now or no? This is killing me. I'm sorry, you guys. All right. See where it says, yes, the subject property is located in Macomb, Washington, or Wayne County with regulations governing on-site disposal and on-site water supply evaluation. If yes, check box A. If the subject is not located in Macomb, Washington, or Wayne County, you check box B. Okay, there's box A. Oops, we just went by box A. In Wayne County, you as a realtor, as a listing realtor, now when I say Wayne County, I'm speaking for Macomb and Washington, you are required to disclose to your listing, your seller, that they have to have a pre-sale septic inspection at their cost. Okay? And if you don't disclose it, you're in big trouble. And as a buyer's agent, your job is to disclose to your buyer that the seller needs to have this done. And if it's not done, you're in big trouble. We lost a $27,000 lawsuit a couple years ago because of this, and we just settled on another one on a house in Redford. And you guys probably didn't know there were septic tanks in Redford, did you? If you screw up, it costs money. All right? This has to be done. And if somebody screws up twice on this one, I'm not sure what the ramifications are going to be at this point. So box A, you need to walk through it. Box B, slide down, please, this is the one you guys are more commonly used to. If you're working in Oakland County, it's not required by the county. However, if you have a septic field, do you want your client to have an opportunity to have a septic inspection? And the answer to that is yes. So please, you guys, follow this. This is a good addendum here. So please make sure you're using it.
Is this a new well and septic addendum, Pete?
Phil, it's been out there for a while. It's been in with us for a few months, but I really need you guys to make sure this is the only one. And I'm probably going to pull everything else out of that refers to a well and septic.
Reason I ask is the one in our workbook is not this one. That's what I asked.
That is correct, Phil. So.
Okay, Pete, remember that one I had?
Pete?
Hold on 1 second online, Angela. Go ahead. Megan.
Where we were second in line. The first buyers walked away because of the septic field that was on its last leg. And there was city sewer. Oakland County requires you to then hook up to city sewer. Listing agent didn't disclose that you had to hook up. I ended up finding it out, but did note that there was city sewer connection already in place. So how would you, I mean, if there is like a septic, should you always be calling the county to find out, hey, I know they're in septic, but is there city sewer available?
Well, here's the thing. You don't want to hook up to city sewer if you don't have to.
Right, but if they require you.
Well, and that's exactly right. So the question is, if my septic fails, okay, do I have to hook up to city sewer? And that's the question you need to ask the county or the city. And if they say yes, then if also, you need to tell your client that, because the septic could be fine today.
Right.
But in 5 years, you might be changing out a septic and they're not being allowed to change out a septic. It could cost you, 15 to 20 grand. to
This
tie
one
into
would
the
have
sewer.
been like 65.
So if you have an opportunity to hook up to one, why wouldn't you want it?
Hold on a second. What was that? Hold on 1 second online.
If you had an
$65,000
opportunity to, oh, go ahead.
online. Hold on 1 second.
Yes, because that homeowner and actually the previous one who was part of the neighborhood getting this put in, never paid the city assessment for it.
Yeah,
So-
I'd have to find out more money on that one. The $65,000 seems like,
It was either 40 or 45 for the city assessment, $2,000 county hookup fee, and then
Then you have to
pay-
take it from the city, the street,
Yeah,
to the house. That's correct.
and get the tank crushed and filled or
Yeah.
whatever.
Interesting. I'd probably walk away too at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't make sense. All right, now I'm sorry, who was trying to ask me something?
Steven Saffron is. So
I had a
if
question too.
if you have the opportunity to hook into a sewer from a septic, now why
Mhm.
wouldn't you want to? I can't really hear your
The
commotion.
cost, Stephen.
Okay, so do you know how it works with the cost?
Well, Megan was just saying, one of the ones she was writing a deal, it was gonna cost the buyer somewhere between $45,000 and $65,000 to do it.
No, it's not that much, actually. I did it myself when I bought a house originally, well, 20 years ago, but it's pretty much the same now. As most cities will let you pay it over 20 years or 10 years at 0% interest or very low interest at all. They let you make small payments included on your taxes.
Okay.
And it really was, for me, it was about, I think, $12,000. And it was $4,500 to get the hookup. But
So
everything was
$17,000, correct?
So $17,000, but everything was able to go on your taxes, and I paid it over a course of 10
Okay,
years,
but
and then like
it's
say when I
still
told you-
$17,000.
And plus you're still paying for it every year in your taxes.
Yeah.
And if you were on Sunny Hill Court in Bloomfield, it was 40. That's what
Yeah.
So,
So, I mean, it's everything else. If you look at things and you have to do a dollars and cents, you're right. Some people, it's not that big a deal, or, it's not that big a cost. Some cities could be higher. The only thing you want to do, your job is what? Educate your clients, right? And let them make the decision. Okay,
So tell
had
them
septic
how
out.
much it is to clean out your septic every year or every other year. And then what happens if that breaks down?
Well, that's the point. And that's why your job is to make sure you're educating your clients, because they need the information. It's not necessarily if the septic is bad today. It's if you buy the house and it's 2 years down the road, the septic goes out. Now you got an issue that your client needs to know, and there's no guarantees on anything.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, Debbie Luke had one literally that they had to do the whole field, and it just happened a couple months ago. I mean, literally, they took every inch of this backyard with the septic. They had to put a new field in. So, but it was cheaper for them to do that. I mean, a septic field done right will last 50 or 60 years, depending how many people are in the house, and what the dirt and everything else is. I'm not saying one way or another to get a septic or not get a septic or walk away from it. I'm just telling you, you want to make sure the right people are doing the inspections so you can educate your clients. The guys I use, D&H Environmental, I had 2 deals last summer where there were septic issues. However, I was able to work through it, negotiating a price. So, one person knew that they were going to have to hook into the city. So I don't know the cost. I mean, and I'm sure every city is a little bit differently. But you're right. If you don't have to pay it up front, it's one thing.
What if it was in a city, like you were saying, some random ones in Redford, and other areas, that require a city inspection? Do they look at that at all?
No, I doubt they're going to do the city inspection on a septic. Yeah.
Well, you have to look at the age of the house, and then you'll know how old the field is, how old the system is.
If it's the original field or not, you're right. So, all right, Angela.
Well, I kind of just read it now in this paragraph, but how many calendar days? Is it, because it says 4 on there? I just saw that. I'm sorry. Is that typically what you go with?
For reject.
That's just 4 days to have it. That's in box A, okay? Box A, who's doing that inspection? Not a trick question here, you guys. The seller's doing
The
that.
seller.
Right. So you should already have it, Angela. So there's really no time frame to get the inspection done. It's 4 days from once the inspection's done, the buyer gets the results to review them.
Okay, so this form that we have in our binder is
Get
no
rid of
good,
it.
right? Okay.
Get rid of it. That is correct.
Pete, if it's like Wayne County where they have to do it before they list it, do they
Mhm.
typically upload that into real comp?
I probably would put it in documents for sure, so everybody knows that it's done. There's no reason not to upload it, okay? We've had issues where sellers didn't realize. You can't blame a seller for not getting a seller an inspection in Wayne County, because guess what? They don't know. It's the agent's job, and that's why it is the agent's jobs to make sure they're educating people. Any other questions? All right, you guys, till Friday. Have a marvelous day. Hang me up.
Thanks, Pete.
You too,
Pete.
Thanks, Pete. You as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trying to send a referral to an agent, a team leader down